Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, guests, friends. Melia, you can't do sport. I hated sport as a kid. I was always the one who was last picked for the team. Could never do it. I developed a great strategy for sport, and that was let everything start, hide your school bags behind the wall, and go home with the early bus. So me in sport, I didn't have your pedigree, Harry, so I was just absolutely crap. So then I decided when I got to adulthood, I was going to learn sport. So I said, right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to learn to swim, because I couldn't swim, never learned to swim. So I said, right, I'm going to learn to swim. So in I jump, away I go, and holding the breath. Progress was slow. However, I'm not the sort of a guy who just starts one thing. I will start loads of things. So I immediately joined the Soccer Club as an associate member. Because to be a real member, you had to pass the test, which was 6 lengths forward, 2 lengths on your back, and stay underwater for 30 seconds. I could just about swim across the pool, holding my breath, and doing about 47 strokes. All was going great until the dive master said, right, all associate members up to the deep end. Up to the deep end. Now he says, go back and tread water. Oh dear. Can't tread water. Now why I didn't go to the mid to side, I have no idea. I went to the middle. Back I went and I went. And the water is here, the water is here, the water is here. It's amazing the ideas that you get in times of crisis. And the brain waves that you get. And I got a brainwave. What I'll do is I'll go down to the bottom, I'll bounce off the floor, I'll come up and go, I'll get ready. Look down, here was 2 guys underneath me doing diving things. Couldn't do that. So then the water was here, the water was here, the water was here, the water was here, the water was there. The water was there! So I grabbed the nearest leg. I do recall a bikini bottom half coming off. And then I recall being pulled out of the water. I didn't give up though, but I decided to change track. I took up canoeing. Gentle run the canal? No, wouldn't do that. I decided to do whitewater canoeing. First time there, 13 times I had to be rescued. So I said, let's get out of the water. So then I said, everyone accused me of having my head in the clouds lots of times, so I said, right, I'll take to the air. So I said I would take up hang gliding. So I went to Wales to try a week's hang gliding. And the week's hang gliding, it was okay, it was good fun. But the winds weren't great for beginners, so I didn't get the license because the weather wasn't. But says, seeing as I'm in the air, why don't I do a parachute jump? So I went across the border to Harryford and spent the day learning about parachute jump. Now this is real parachute jumping. It wasn't what they do now, you tie it to somebody and you jump out and sure he's doing all the work or she's doing all the work. This time you had to go and pull your own cord and do your own thing. So it's the real thing. And you spend ages you jump out and you go 1, 2, 3, you count for 4 seconds, and if it hasn't opened you pull the emergency cord. And you've been working with that all day. Problem is, what happens is people get so stressed, so nervous that they say 1, 2, 3, 4, oh fuck, and pull it. But when you pull the emergency cord, you see you've no control over where you're going to land. So you have to have a little bit. So what they do is to slow you down. They say 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Then you look up. If it's not open, you pull the cord. So what happens is, inevitably though, is the numbers get a bit lost. You generally jump out and go, oh, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. I landed on the target. I was the only one the whole day to land absolutely smack bang in the middle of the target. Now with those kind of chutes I was using, you had to roll over, and you practice, now I'm not going to do a roll over here on the ground, but you have to do the roll over, and then you roll the chute up over your arms. And I was grinning from here to here. My mouth was, Jesus, wow, this. Walked over, sprained my ankle walking across the field. I sprained my ankle walking across a flat field. So that ended my parachuting. I said I'd hang up my parachute. So then I said I'll take up skiing. So I took up skiing and I went to Austria and I skied a little bit. And I met these people who were more advanced than I was. And in skiing, those of you who have skied, there are blue runs for beginners, red runs for intermediates, black run experts only. Now these guys would have been intermediate, but they had a theory they would do the black runs first thing in the morning. The reason being, they would have been sober at lunchtime from the night before and they would absolutely crap themselves looking down the slope of the hill and going down it. But 2 years later I went to Canada, Lake Louise. Stunning part of the world, up in the Canadian Rockies. And however I managed it, I accidentally got on to what's called their double black diamond run. It's the most advanced slope in North America. I got to the top and I looked down and I said, oh my God. I better get a better look at this, I said. So out the goggles. Oh. How am I going to get that down that in two pieces, let alone three? Or one? Do you know you can sweat profusely at -27 degrees? Eventually I managed to, instead of going that way, I went that way, I went that way, I went that way, and I got down in one piece. And I just sat there. How did I? 2 weeks later I was at home and I turned on Eurosport. I used to watch the skiing downhill. Live from Lake Louise, the women's downhill. What took me 19.5 minutes took them 90 seconds. Eventually, anyway, I decided to take up a sport I always wanted to do. Martial arts. And I was so stiff that when I started these exercises, I literally couldn't reach my knee. And I'm not joking on that. But eventually, anyway, we got a little bit on the way. We went up through the grades. We managed to even... There's a lot of advantages being in martial arts, you know. You got loose and you got flexible. You could swing your legs and you could put your leg up and have a relax, you know. And then you could walk around, you know, and you could go around. And then you could be just here and you could tickle a chairman across the ear, you know. And then we went through the grades until eventually they gave me one of these. So now who's going to say I can't do sport? Thank you.